Imagine standing naked in front of the mirror, looking down there. Or better still, imagine lying down naked, your legs wide apart with the mirror staring down there. Now tell me the name of what you see looking at you through the mirror. Yeah, I know you're going to tell me that is my vagina. And in fact, you're not the only woman who calls that place the vagina. In most cases, we usually confuse or we mistake that part to be the vagina. But that part is called the vulva. Yes, what you see down there is called the vulva. In most cases, we actually conclude that everything that we see down there is vagina. No, the vagina is actually one, it's a specific internal organ. Internal, it means that you do not see it outside there, it's inside there. So the outside is called the vulva. We will talk about the vagina and everything in there, but let's talk about the things outside first, okay? Now, this vulva that I'm talking about has another very interesting name. Another name for the vulva is the covering. Yeah, then another name for the vulva is the external female genitalia. External basically means everything that you see outside. Good. So this vulva is a collection of other organs or other things that come together to make that name vulva. Good. So this vulva consists of the mons pubis, the labia majora, the labia minora, the clitoris, the vagina opening, the urethra opening, okay, and then other parts like the skinny glands and the Bartholin glands. I wouldn't want to bore you with the nitty-gritty, but we're going to learn about all these things. You see, as a woman, it's good to know all these parts of you or of your body makeup. It's good to know what makes a woman, so that whenever there's any abnormality, you get to know. It's good to be familiar with your body, okay? Yeah, so let's talk about the vulva. You see, the vulva has few functions. One of the functions of the vulva is, it protects the internal female reproductive system or the organs against infections and germs. Before a germ or an infection can enter there, it has to pass through the outside. So this outside of the vulva will do its best to protect the internal organs from any sort of germs or infections. Now, the second interesting function of the vulva is that it plays a huge role when it comes to sexual pleasure and lubrication. Yeah, it lubricates the vagina, but it makes sex more pleasurable, makes sex more interesting and more fun. So these are some of the few examples of the vulva. Good. Now we're going to take each part of the vulva, discuss it, and get to know about it so that you become familiar with it. Now let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about the mons pubis. You see that part that you've been combing, it becomes bushy, and you use scissors to be trimming it, shaping it, making it sexy and all that things. Some of us too, ours is very small. We usually trim it every 5 years because there's no hair there. Good. That part is what we call the mons pubis. Yeah. Try touching that part I'm talking about. You see, it's sort of soft. Yeah, it's because this mons pubis is made up of, or it consists of fatty tissues. It's basically fats. Yeah, now this fatty tissue there, okay, try pressing that hairy part again a bit harder. Press it a bit harder. You see, you're sort of touching a hard part. Yeah, that part is called the symphysis pubis. So the mons pubis basically is covering the symphysis pubis, serving as a cushion for it, so that whenever there's any direct impact or direct trauma, this cushion will this mons pubis will serve as a cushion to sort of absorb the pain or that hit or that blow. Yeah, so that is the mons pubis, that hairy part you're looking at. Now this mons pubis, it has a shape of a triangle turned upside down. You see, it looks like a triangle turned upside down. That's how the mons pubis looks like. Yeah. Now this mons pubis, okay, it's present in both men and women. All sex have the mons pubis, but it's more prominent in women. And then when a woman hits puberty, that's when their hair begins to grow. In fact, even men also hit puberty, that's when their hair begins to grow. So in women, these hormones and all that makes it more fleshy and more prominent. Yeah, when you reach our puberty. Now, one thing you should know about this mons pubis is it also actually contains some glands that secrete something that we call the pheromones. Yeah. Now, these pheromones basically also helps in sexual attraction. So you see that hairy place that you see, it also plays a very important role when it comes to sexual satisfaction. Yeah. So that's the mons pubis. Now this mons pubis, okay, As I said about the vulva, that not all vulvas are not all the same. Vulvas we have different shapes, we have different colors of vulvas. When it comes to the mons pubis, it's the same thing. We have different shapes, we have different colors, we have different sizes. Yeah, so when you're in the bathroom with your sister and you realize your sister's mons pubis is small, whereas yours looks very big, it's simply because the fatty tissue deposited there is plenty. That's why your mons pubis may look bigger or fleshy. Yeah, so some mons pubis are very big or fleshy, whereas some are small. It's because of the fatty tissue deposited there. But some women are not very comfortable with the fact that their mons pubis looks big. So now there are surgeries that people actually do to try and reduce the fatty tissue down there. But please don't be bothered when you feel that or you see that yours is big. It's very normal, okay, to have a big, mons pubis. It's very normal. Now, there are some women who have a lot of hair down there. Just say a mini dorsal. There are some of us too, ours is very small, and there are some too, they don't have hair there at all. My dear, is all normal. And as I said too, there are different colors. Don't be bothered, okay? It's normal. Yeah. So I hope today you've learned something very interesting about the mons pubis, and you've learned that the vagina you've been calling vagina is not actually the vagina. It's called the vulva. And you've learned that the mons pubis, aside having hair, also contains certain glands that secrete something we call the pheromones, helping in sexual attraction. So now when you go to the hospital, you can tell the doctor that I have a problem with a part of my vulva. Makes you a learned woman. I hope you understand. Now in our next video, we'll be talking about the clitoris. Yeah, the clitoris. Do you know the clitoris has another interesting nickname? So please subscribe, hit the notification button so that in my next video you get to know about the clitoris and everything that has to do with the clitoris. And so until we meet again, take care, sit down, examine yourself, examine your body, and get familiar with your body. Take care. Bye.